what's going on? I'm Del, and you're watching Drinkin and Yakkin. Check it out. Brand new logo. What do you think? I don't know. I think it's a little bit more exciting. The other one was a little bit too boring for my tastes. Well, I'm back, and I apologize for being away for so long, but I've actually been, believe it or not, doing research for today's episode. It'll probably most likely be a two-parter episode. The reason being is because there's so much to talk about. But I've been doing research for one reason only. I saw recently the XXX industry released a Star Wars parody. Now, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, and I dread the day that we ever get into that show, but yeah, I could just imagine what that one's going to be like. But anyway, I saw the Star Wars XXX parody, and it brought on a whole new world. Actually, believe it or not, it was before that. They did a Batman 1966 version with Adam West, which I'll talk about those a little bit later, but those were the two main reasons I decided to do this episode. So what I did was I did a lot of research, believe it or not, and I do not watch porn. Okay? Just for the record. I don't. I don't watch it. Nope. Never watched a porn in my life. Nope. I fast forward through them to get to the good shit. That's right. Mm-hmm. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, whatever. Bullshit. Dude, I haven't got time to watch that much porn. But these, believe it or not, I actually sat down and watched a good portion of them. I did scan through a lot, but the majority, the really good ones, which are the ones I'm going to talk about on this episode, those I actually sat down and watched, and believe it or not, fast-forwarded through the porno to get to the acting to see if it, continued on. Now, I'm basing these basically just on acting. Closeness to the story, whatever you want to call it, series, TV show, blah, blah, blah. It's as close as possible to the actual show. And that's what I'm basing it on. The porn itself, some of them were good, some of them were bad. Some of them, the actresses, they could have done a little bit of work on. They could have gotten better. Especially in the porn industry, you'd think that they would get better chicks. Anyway, I'm babbling. Let's move on. We're going to start off with a very, very recent one that just came out. It was an interpretation of Zorro, the Antonio Banderas version that was done a couple of years back. And this one was actually included in the cast was Tasha Rain. She wasn't playing the part of Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I love Tasha Rain. She was in there. Enough said. That was a great one. The next one I want to talk about is Spider-Man. Spider-Man was actually, it was pretty off, okay? It wasn't even close to the Sam Raimi version, but there was one scene in particular that was identical. They made a little twist on it, though. When Spider-Man comes down to do the kiss scene, this time around, they kiss, but then he drops down a little further and, she starts sucking the dick. And the funniest part about the whole thing, I know it's a spoiler, I don't care. I don't think you guys are probably going to watch it. But anyway, the funniest part was they had, the love music playing while that scene is going on, which I found to be hysterical. Another one, and I thought it was a great one as well, was Dukes of Hazzard. Actually, these are my favorite ones that I'm telling you today on today's episode. Dukes of Hazzard, they had the car, enough said. Bo and Luke, they were, it was cheesy. They could have gotten a better Daisy, in my personal opinion. I mean, come on, this is the porn industry. She was okay, but I mean, she wasn't Daisy Duke, okay? I mean, come on. When you look at Daisy Duke, you're thinking of a thin brunette or Jessica Simpson, whatever, by the movie. But they based it on the show, the original show. And Daisy Duke was alright, but but they had the car. Saved the whole thing. The porn was actually pretty good too. The story was a little cheesy, but then again, what do you expect? It's fucking porn, But I mean, but hold on, wait. I take that back because the next couple of ones that I'm going to mention, the story were actually really, really good. Case in point, Superman. That's my next one. Superman was starring, I forget who was starring in that one. But anyway, the Superman guy that they got to play was actually pretty good. He looked like Superman, which is scary. And the story was pretty much dead on. I mean, they mentioned, Zod, they had Ursa, the whole bit. They just kept going with it. It was great. It was awesome. Another one, and I'm reading off a prompter here, a list, because there's no way I can remember all this shit. Married with Children. The girl they got to play, Peg Bundy, not so good. They did a better version back in the 80s, or late 90s, or early 90s, I should say, with Randy West, if I'm not mistaken, and she was a better Peg Bundy, as far as I was concerned. But the Married with Children ones, dude, I was laughing my ass off. They were funny. The other one was I Dream of Jeannie. The costume was dead on. They actually got They got everything dead on with that one. It was just so funny. And of course, they all get it on at the end. I'm not going to give away I'm going to try not to give away as many spoilers as I can. The other one was, and this one was hilarious. Evan Stone played the role of Batman. He was dressed in a modern Batman, but he had the Adam West. He was trying to do the Adam West interpretation of it. And Chanel Preston, she played Wonder Woman, which I think she looks a way better Wonder Woman than what they got as the Tory Black version, because they also did a Wonder Woman, and Tory Black was the one who starred as Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, but I just don't see Tory Black as Wonder Woman. She's hot, but she's not Wonder Woman. Chanel Preston was a little bit closer, but Justice League, I was dying. And Ron Jeremy's in there. Enough said. That's all that has to be said. You know it's a good movie if Ron Jeremy is in... wait, hold on. No, not really. Anyway, okay, let's move on. Top Guns. They did a version of Top Guns. I was howling when I saw this one. They got the plane fights, the whole 9 yards, and they actually have the scene, you know, where Iceman, where he does that... But it's, I forget her name right now, and I'm like going to spank myself afterwards for not remembering. But yeah, Top Guns was awesome. It was hilarious. And then the Flintstones. I hate to admit it, but my favorite scene was actually when Wilma and Betty, or not when Wilma and Betty, sorry, that was good. But when Pebbles gets it on with Bam Bam. I'm sorry, but I thought that was the best scene in the whole movie. And they also had an original one again with Ron Jeremy back in the day, and that was the Flint Bones, right? So that one was good as well. And then let's move on. We're going to talk about Star Trek, the original Star Trek, which was done in 1999. It was Randy Spears starring as Captain Kirk. The new one they did recently had Evan Stone return, of course, because he's a woodsman. You know, he may not be the hottest guy in the world, or maybe some women think he is, but, you know, that's all you need in the porn industry, right? So you get that, you know, you're going to be called for all kinds of roles. So anyway, Evan Stone was in that one. They did a two-parter for that one, which I thought both of them were really good. And then they did a version of The Next Generation. I swear to God, when I saw the poster for this fucker, I thought it was actually Captain Jean-Luc Picard in the photo. Dude, I'm telling you, I freaked. I was like... Holy shit, this guy's fucking dead on. He looks exactly like him. Moving along, which I got a few of them to talk about. Scooby-Doo. They did a version of Scooby-Doo. Obviously, Scooby's not in the video, but that's kind of the whole joke. You know, they make it like, you know, they're trying to find Scooby and whatnot. But Velma stole the show. Bobby Starr. You gotta love her. She was fantastic as Velma. She was so, like, she's so into it and she's so hot on top of it. So it just added to the whole movie. And then there was Rocky. Okay, Rocky was just fucking great. And I'm looking at my notes. His name is Anthony Rosano. He played a great Rocky, and they also had, of course, Clubber Lang, right? I forget his name right now, and I really didn't care. And they also had, of course, Apollo. Buddy, it was awesome. And, of course, the scene with Adrian, you know, he only eats her out at first, you know, the whole, you know, Rocky joke, which was, you know, he never got it on with her and the whole bit. But he gets it on with her in this one. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so Rocky, and then Mork and Mindy. Evan Stone returns once again to play Robin Williams, and I tell you, I was howling with Mork and Mindy. We're getting into the best ones right now. Mork and Mindy was probably the best one, and Chanel Preston returned as well, and she played Mindy. She's gorgeous, and she actually looked like Mindy, which was pretty scary, but it was fantastic. It was just funny as shit. They did the whole Nanu Nanu. You know, they even have a scene where the Fonz makes an appearance, which was just fucking hysterical. Anyway, moving along, we're going to get into the top ones now. These are the top three, my favorite three. Ghostbusters. Yes, they did a Ghostbusters. And again, Evan Stone returns, and he plays Peter Venkman, or Bill Murray's character. And I tell you, that one was probably one of the best ones I've ever seen. Of course, it's my number three. My three best ones. This is number three. So Ghostbusters was amazing. And if you see it in 3D, it's even fucking funnier. I actually got a chance to see it in 3D. I was dying. Okay, especially the statue scene. And actually, here's a little clip. I mean, this is not XXX, but I mean, there you go. So you can see it. Actually, you've been seeing it all the while. I've been posting up little pictures and whatnot. Now, let's move on to the top two. My favorite two, and that is the 1966 version of Batman. They did a Dark Knight, which was, in my estimation, I didn't like it at all. They tried too hard, okay? The Joker was, he did an okay version of the Joker, but it just, I didn't like it. I mean, the girls, of course, they were hot, but I'm not basing it on that. The Dark Knight in general was just shit, okay? And then, Oh, actually, there you go. There's my time limit, so I haven't got much left. So, but let me just run through the cast of the Batman 1966. You got Randy Spears, who plays Cesar Romero's Joker, which we all love. Evan Stone, again, plays Frank Gorshin's Riddler. And then you've got Lexi Bell, Yvonne Craig as Catwoman, or Batgirl, sorry. What am I talking about? Tori Black was, I think, Lee Merriweather's version of Catwoman. And then you've got James Dean, D-E-E-N, not D-E-A-N. He is Burt Ward, and he does a great job too. And then, of course, you got the man. Dale DeBone plays Adam West, Batman. Dude, it was fucking creepy. Okay, this guy was so dead on. I'm telling you, when I watched this shit, I swear to you I was watching Adam West. And to see at the end, especially when they get it on with Catwoman, it's the funniest fucking shit ever. Because he turns to Robin, he's like, well, you know, Robin, she's very deceitful. Okay, I'm not going to say anymore. You gotta watch it, bottom line. And then, of course, my favorite one, starring, of course, as Obi-Wan Kenobi, was Tom Byron. And, well, of course, Star Wars. They got Chewbacca in there. Dude, he gets it on. Okay, Chewbacca gets it on with two chicks. Awesome. And of course Vader's in there, and he gets it on with Leia, which they make a big joke about, well, it's not like you're my father or nothing, right? Which is awesome. Of course they do that at the end too, and she gets it on. I'm not going to tell you who she gets it on with at the end. You gotta fucking watch it. Anyway, so, well, I'm pretty sure you figured it out. But the best part actually was when Vader pulls out his cock, and it's a big giant black cock. And the funny thing, the worst thing actually, I knew who that was. I look at it and I'm like, that's fucking Big Lex, dude. For those of you who know the porn industry as much as I do, you'll know who Big Lex is. So anyway, so she gets it on with Vader, and her name, I'm looking at my notes again, was Allie Hayes. I thought it was Tori Black, but she looks similar to Tori Black. But Allie Hayes did a great job as Princess Leia. Dude, I'd want to bang that Leia anytime. I hope they continue on and do like a Return of the Jedi and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the only thing I didn't like about the Star Wars was they digitally put in C-3PO and R2-D2, which I think they would have done a better version, kind of like they did with the Kevin Smith movie, Zack and Miri Make a Porno. I think that would have been funnier if they had people dressed, but whatever. They didn't do it. Whatever, what can you do? Still, Chewbacca gets it on. Dude, you gotta watch it just for Chewie. And Obi-Wan gets it on with a sand chick, or sand person. You know, you gotta see it, dude. It's amazing. It's amazing. And they have the big battle at the end, the big Death Star battle. Oh my god, I was loving every second of it, and I couldn't get enough. Anyway, that is my favorite selections of XXX parodies. If you ever get a chance to check these out, check them out. You'll love it. Anyway, I've talked way too much for this episode. The buzzer already went off, so I gotta go. So we're going to continue this off again in another episode of Drinkin Yakkin, where I'm going to talk about the not-so-good XXX parodies, in case any of you are wondering. Well, if I didn't mention them on this episode, chances are they're not the best. So anyway, cheers. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that you're watching. If you're watching, to my 3 fans especially, you're going to love next week, because next week is a big one. So for those of you 3 fans who've been dedicated and watching my shit, you're going to love it next week. Anyway, my name is Del. Thank you for watching Drinkin Yakkin. Del, I can't watch your shit anymore. And I was like, why? And he goes, well, because it's starting to look good.